Hey there, traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for a daily market recap. Today's a recap for Friday, April 30th. Happy Friday. It's been a long week. If you're happy it's Friday, I know I am. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing HIVE Blockchain as the topic of the day. Stock exploded today. So first and foremost, congrats to the bulls. But I'll talk about why it's time to start being cautious as we're approaching a lot of resistance here. So we'll look at the HIVE chart in just a moment. We'll look at some news and events. There wasn't a whole lot to go over today, but essentially just the SEC and Ripple hearing. I did a video earlier today on the Hexo, but I'm going to do another video on the MJ space here a little bit later on. So you can expect some more updates from that. But before we jump in, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. So Ripple and the SEC had their hearing today, and XRP was running and bullish before the meeting occurred. That was at 10 a.m. this morning. But essentially after the meeting started, we saw everything kind of cool down for the most part, but essentially not really much came out of it. The judge is going to take everything into consideration and will announce her verdict in the coming days about the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, the request to foreign regulators. So essentially, SEC was standing its ground, and Ripple was saying that they have an unfair advantage as they have different tactics and access to different rules that, Ripple doesn't have access to, and that this is not your typical request. This is something that I'll quote it here. What the SEC is doing is totally outside federal court rules. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so we won't go any further than that. But essentially, he said, she said, and disagreeing, and SEC standing its ground, Ripple standing its ground, and we'll see if there's any updates into next week. But taking a look at the crypto space, so we had a pretty big explosion across the board. We saw Ripple and XLM start to trend higher, and Ethereum's just been holding its own here above 27,000, and it's been the lead bull. And then we had Bitcoin caught up a little bit later on. Now Bitcoin's going a little sideways again, so we'll see if this gives alts a little bit of room to grow here and to outpace. But we're seeing Bitcoin dominance drop and altcoins starting to gain quite a bit. So taking a look at the HIVE chart, and I'll put some just timestamps in the description below as well. But we do have a descending triangle formation here on the weekly. So we need to be cautious. Generally, these are bearish reversal patterns, and we could see further downside from here. We did close at the high of the week, so a very strong weekly close. And speaking of the weekly close, let's just take a look at the weekly moving average, the 10 period. So we had it at 456. And we closed at 473, so that is bullish. The MACD and stochastic are still trending bearish, but that was a step in the right direction to close over the 10-week moving average. We're still well above the 10 or the 50, the 100, and the 200 weekly moving averages. And on the daily time frame, again, we need to be cautious here. We're approaching the 50-day moving average at 471. We closed at 473, but we're right on it, so there is potential that we could pull back here, as it could act as resistance. We did close the week above the 20-period moving average on the weekly as well, and we closed above the weekly VWAP. We never lost the weekly VWAP here on this pullback, so that was notable. But again, we'll watch that 50-day moving average into next week, and $5 psychological will be strong resistance in my opinion, but we have the 50-day moving average there at 471, and the resistance line here from this descending triangle, like I said, we're right above it, and we closed at the high of the week. So we'll see if bulls can see any continuation into next week. But at this point, we're avoiding weekly downtrends. You can see here we had a lower high, and we had a double bottom here at 333, 326. We lost it, but no follow through, and then we got as low as 323. We had 326, 333. 326, and then 323. So key weekly support now is 323. And if we do lose that, that's going to confirm a weekly downtrend. And that's not what bulls want to see. But nice strong end of the week there. And daily uptrend has been confirmed though. So that was step number one. We had the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So no new key daily support is at 363. And as long as we maintain the daily uptrend from here, bulls are in full control. But we saw massive volume and hourly RSI getting extended, sitting at 83. So it is time to be cautious. We have no hourly support down to 363. So again, congrats to the bulls, but just be cautious here. We are closer to stronger resistance at the moment than support, and wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 5, 10, even 15% pullback from these levels. So moving on to SPY and the overall broader market. So we did have a pretty weak day overall. We had a nice strong beginning to the day, and then into the afternoon, everything just kind of settled out, but we were pretty much flat for the most part today, and that was after big tech earnings. Not a whole lot moving this market right now, so we need to be a little cautious at the moment, but we're still holding the daily uptrend, which is the most important thing. So I'm just going to keep it simple, holding EMA 12 as well. So as long as we hold EMA 12, this yellow line, which is sitting at 415.50, we are just fine. And if we do lose it, then we'll be looking down to 410.59 as daily support, as if we lose that, we lose the daily uptrend. One thing to note, we are seeing increasing bear volume here. So it's time to start being cautious. We are near all-time highs, and it's been a while since we saw any real weekly consolidation. So the last weekly high or low is at 383.90. So just be cautious. I could see a potential pullback here in the week. That wasn't a very strong weekly candle close. So if we did see any weekly consolidation in the next couple of weeks, it's possible that we could pull back to EMA 12 here around the 400 level, which would line up with that gap in the daily chart here at 467 as well. So again, just make sure you have a game plan if we see some significant weakness in SPY and the overall broader market, either on the daily or the weekly consolidation timeframes. But the dollar bouncing here, and we knew to be watching out for a potential bounce on the dollar as we were getting close to weekly support and just a weekly lower high for the last 4 candles in a row. So we got about 58 minutes left of this candle, and we'll see if bulls can break the high of this week, next week, to get that weekly bounce underway, or whether or not we're heading down to 89.68. But the more we pull back on the dollar, the more we can expect the market and stocks to continue to trend higher. QQQ, so trying to save EMA 12 at 338.11. We closed below it, so that's a little notable. And 333.97 key support on QQQ. US oil had a weak day today, started daily consolidation, but has yet to test EMA 12, so we'll look for a potential EMA 12 test around 62.74. Taking a look at the metals, so we had an inside bar on silver and on gold as well, so just a tightening range there, trying to hold the EMAs, but still holding their, you could consider that a daily downtrend with a lower high and a lower low, but not much follow through. We'll need to see more follow through than that. And in my opinion, as long as we hold these EMAs, we are just fine. But daily support on gold down at 17.23. If we do lose the EMAs, and silver down at 24.68 is its daily support level if we do lose the EMAs here. So biotech sector was down over 1% today. Looks like we lost the low of yesterday, but not by much. Could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, and it's a possible daily bull flag at the moment. XLE, the energy sector, down over 2.5%. Not surprising with gold's weakness, oil's weakness, sorry. But at this point, it's still a potential bull flag. If we just draw this out, it's getting close. We're right on that 0.32 fib, so I wouldn't want to see any more of a pullback to consider this, or else we start to negate that and decrease the odds. XLF was a daily inside bar, so the financial sector, we will be watching for the low of the day on Monday. If the low of the day today holds on Monday, then the daily bounce remains and is still intact, and we can expect more upside. If not, if we lose it, then daily consolidation will be underway, and we'll look to this gap fill here at 36.04. But lots of room here for a daily high or low, but support down at 34.42. So just be cognizant of that. It is quite far away. So on the healthcare sector, looks like we had a daily inside bar and trying to form a higher low here off EMA 12, but we did close below it. So it's entirely possible that we're heading down to the EMA 26 level around the 120 area, which would add some selling pressure to the healthcare sector. So taking a look at some individual tickers on the day, we had DFLY Dash leading the decline today. We had the very good food company and Shop On the bull list, we had EDR, Tesla, and FTNT, Fortinet, Riot. So a lot of the blockchain names today did well. I think HP was up quite a bit today as well. Yes, it was. So nice move there, increasing bull volume. And I was wondering when we were going to see those laggards respond to the move in crypto. And the crypto space has just been taking off. And Ethereum specifically, and that was one that I was watching, was HIVE. In our group, we actually entered on this pullback, and shout out to those in our group who followed us on that trade. But great trade on HIVE, and daily uptrend confirmed. And just taking a look at NEO. So NEO had earnings, and the EV space was up today. Just bring up the NEO chart here. So NEO didn't break the high of yesterday though, so we're still on watch for daily consolidation. And Tesla had a nice day today, up almost 5%. Actually was up 5% at one point. It's high of the day at 715. So Tesla standing out as a little stronger here, as we are breaking the high of yesterday. And EMA 12 sitting at 709.09. We closed at 709.44, closing above it on some decent volume. So let's see if we can get further bounce on the daily into next week. So we're going to end it there. Thanks for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth for another daily market recap. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you a little bit later on for an MJ sector review, and we'll see you next week as well. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.